Let's start with the Kansas mask mandate study, which was published by the CDC on November 20th, with rather suspicious timing being just 2 days after the Danish face mask study was published. This Kansas mask mandate study has been touted as providing good evidence that mask mandates reduce the spread of SARS-CoV-2. The governor of Kansas instituted a mask mandate effective on July 3rd, but allowed individual counties to opt out. The researchers compared the COVID-19 incidence between the mask mandate counties and the non-mask mandate counties over a period of time. So, what did they find? Well, after the governor's executive order, again effective July 3rd, COVID-19 incidence, quote, incidence in the mask mandate counties had a net decrease of 6%. But the non-mask mandate counties over the same period had a 100% increase in COVID-19 incidence. And they supply a helpful graph showing that from July 3rd to August 23rd, the mask mandate counties in Kansas had a decrease in COVID incidence at the same time that the non-mask mandate counties had an increase. Pretty solid evidence that masks work, right? No, it's not. Let's just start by pulling back and looking at the actual case numbers of COVID-19 in Kansas over the time period surveyed, and then we can figure out how the study authors got their results. At the time the Kansas mask mandate study was published, these were the numbers coming out of Kansas. The non-mask mandate Kansas County cohort started the study period, July 3rd, at 825 COVID cases per 100,000 population, and by August 21st was at 1,271 cases per 100,000, while the mask-mandated county cohort started the study period at just 411 COVID cases per 100,000 population and ended at 1,262 COVID cases per 100,000. That means that over the period of time covered by this Kansas mask mandate study, the number of COVID-19 cases in the mask mandate counties increased almost twice as quickly as the non-masked counties, by 851 cases for every 100,000 people, while non-mask mandate counties had a much lower increase of only 446 cases per 100,000 people. The mask mandate counties actually got more COVID-19 cases more quickly than the non-mandate counties. So, how did the Kansas mask mandate study authors get their little graph which appears to show the opposite, that mask counties did better? The Kansas mask mandate study authors aren't lying, and I'm not saying that they are, but they got their graph by looking at the data in a very specific way. The Kansas mask mandate study doesn't take the straightforward approach of looking at the total numbers of COVID cases between the two study cohorts over a period of time. It doesn't even emphasize the overall trends in the rate of change, the daily new cases of COVID-19 among the masked and the non-masked counties, because doing so still would not make masking look like a good idea. Just look at the table from their own study. According to the Kansas mask mandate study's own metric, as of June 1st, the two study cohorts started at almost the same rate of acceleration, 3 or 4 daily new COVID cases per 100,000 people. But by the end of the study, the non-masked counties were still doing better than the masked counties, even though it's completely true that from the day the mask mandate went into effect on July 3rd through to August 23rd, the incidence of daily new cases of COVID-19 per 100,000 population in mask mandate counties did decrease from 17 to 16. So how do we reconcile this study's conclusion with what the actual overall case numbers coming out of Kansas during that time period show? It all hinges on what is meant by the word incidence. We're talking about the difference between velocity and acceleration. Velocity is the rate of change in position. Acceleration is the rate of change in velocity. The velocity of COVID-19 is measured in daily new cases, but the acceleration of COVID-19 is the change in the number of daily new cases. And that is what the Kansas mask mandate study refers to as, quote, incidence. What the Kansas study authors did was to graph a period of time where the COVID acceleration decreased slightly in the mask mandate counties, but was still increasing in the non-masked counties. Their conclusion says nothing about the actual total cases of COVID in these counties, and the Kansas counties that never mandated masks still ended the study with a lower actual total COVID acceleration. You don't need to take anyone else's word for this. The underlying data can be obtained for free at the Kansas Department of Health website, where at least as of the time of this recording, you can read the COVID cases for each individual county for the dates that I've cited, charted by day, from March to the present. Instead of being straightforward like the Danish mask study, the Kansas study looks at the rate of change and then cherry picks a time period to get the results that support their conclusion. If the study authors had extended their study time period by just a week or two in either direction, they would have had to flip their conclusion. And as it is, they still couldn't completely hide the fact that the non-mask counties in their study did better overall. Far from providing evidence in favor of mask mandates, the data underlying the Kansas mask mandate study, if it does anything, actually provides evidence that mask mandates make things worse.